Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you, Soya Food Promotion and Welfare Association, for giving me the opportunity to present here. So I think since morning we've talked a lot about soy, the technical aspects, the application aspects. Uh, my intent here would be to take all of you through to a global journey about the market of soy food ingredients. So I've personally worked in export marketing since I joined business, so it's been almost 12 years now. So I'd like to share whatever my experience has been. So soy is consumed globally in almost every country. We ourselves export to 55 countries. So the global soy food ingredient market is valued at $51.44 billion in 2024. This market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 4%. And there are various applications where soy ingredients are supplied. To start with the very basic value, soy proteins are supplied for soy sauce in the East. Soy TVP is supplied for meat processing all across the world, in Asia, in Middle East, in Europe, in US, and in South America. Soy concentrates are supplied for various food applications and feed applications. Feed is mainly aqua feed, and food applications are throughout the world for various meat processing applications. Now, when we talk about export readiness and value additions, I've tried to create the presentation in four parts. One is innovation and technology, one is operation excellence and marketing, one is meeting global standards, and global certifications. So let's start with innovation technology. I think in India, we heard there's a plant of soy protein isolates. We ourselves are doing soy concentrates. When we look at countries like China, USA, they have very high processing capacity and a very good technological edge, because they've been doing that for decades now. And that is where we as a country can increase our edge by innovation and technology. So what is the way forward? The way forward is to invest into modern processing technology for extraction, fermentation, and protein isolation. What could be the key products? Soy isolates and concentrates. I was talking to one of the companies and told me a company in China manufactures 11 different types of isolates. Can you imagine? One product but 11 different variants, all for different applications. When there is soy flour, it could be defatted or full fat, even full fat. We in India manufacture a full fat flour for bakery, but there is also a flour, full fat flour, enzyme inactive. There's a much bigger market for that in Europe, and there's a local manufacturer in Europe. Soy lecithins and phospholipids. Uh, uh, India has been growing in soy lecithin supplies to Europe and globally, and with increase in the manufacturers, there has also been advancement in technology. Uh, the way forward could be to invest into phospholipids, which are primarily manufactured in Europe and US. The applications which these products go to are nutraceuticals, pharma, cosmetics, chocolate, meat processing, infant nutrition. So as a community and as a country, we have to invest into technology and modern processing to grow our export base. Quality standards are equally important when we talk about export markets. Um, if you talk about anyone in a food company outside of India, they have a very strict protocol laid down. First, they'll need a certain set of specifications, certifications, then probably a sample, an audit, and then a very thorough audit depending on the size of the company. So these are basic steps that we have to adhere to and follow if we as a country are to increase our footprint in the global market. And apart from that, there's also regulatory compliance. In our experience, we've noticed that Europe and US and Japan are very, very strict in terms of compliance. They have their regulations laid down. And food companies, they don't move away from it because they're very, very strict about it. So if we as a community are able to match those regulations, I think there'll be opportunities for us to grow. We talk about technology, we talked about quality in export markets. I think one of the important points is marketing. So we have to follow marketing trends. I was just talking to, I think, in Lanil about plant-based proteins. 2 years ago, it's a hype. I mean, there was a hype, but I think organically there's going to be growth because disposable incomes are going to grow. There'll be more money to spend, so people are going to be willing to spend more money on plant-based products. So we have to see where the demand is coming from. Primarily Europe and North America, because their disposable incomes are higher. Soy lecithin for bakery and confectionery, Europe, US have been let's say historical markets, but now we see growth coming from Asia because Asia as a continent is expected to grow. So the consumption for chocolate is expected to grow in Asia. So I think as a country we would have to position ourselves that these are the market segments we want to, these are the demand drivers and trends we have to follow. Last but not the least, what I'd like to talk about is global competition when we talk about international markets. We already saw in the presentation, US is the second biggest producer of soy after Brazil. This is just to give an overview of which country is doing what. So you see USA producing very high quality soy proteins for various food applications. China is the biggest processor of soy on the planet. They process 120 million tons of soybean. So they have the biggest capacity for soy isolates and soy concentrates and the lowest cost to produce it. So that is again a way forward for us to go. Germany, we see a lot of production of lecithins and phospholipids, which is the way forward for us as a country to increase remuneration for farmers. Brazil is high processing volume. They have huge capacities of soy processing and soy concentrate processing, mainly for feed. And this is something which could be helpful for the country if you look at in this direction. Argentina is a primarily GMO country, but they do make some food ingredients and they sell in the countries where there's no strict restriction about non-GMO. So I think that's all. This is what I wanted to share with you. If we follow this path, I'm sure we can increase value addition, and in the supply chain, there can be a better remuneration for our farmers. Thank you.